We're talking about leaving a godly legacy. This is our fourth lesson. This will be our last one. But let me raise a question to you: Is what kind of godly legacy will you leave behind? In other words, will you be known as a prayer warrior? Will you be known as a man or woman of the Word? Will you be known as someone that was faithful to church, or will you be known as someone that was unfaithful? Will you be known as someone full of the Holy Ghost and full of faith, or will you be known as someone that was carnal and they couldn't even trust God and believe God? Let me raise another question for you. What kind of temperament will you leave behind as a legacy? Will you be known as someone that was extremely kind, or will you be known as an angry man? Will you be known as a sweet person or a mean person, a sour disposition, a no fun dad? Will you be known as one of the kindest and joyful men to your church family or to your personal family? Can I tell you something? You say, well, I'm not wired like that. Look here, it's not about that. It's you should be that way. Because why? You are wired that way in the spirit, to be kind and joyful and loving. You will be remembered. You will be remembered. I mean, I want you to think about this. We're remembered by what? By the bad or the good that we do. I mean, if you think about Hitler, Adolf Hitler, your mind goes, that was bad. If you think about Abraham Lincoln, you think that was good. You will leave a legacy. And Paul left a legacy for Timothy, and we're going to run through this just briefly here. Paul's legacy was this. He said, look, Timothy, he said, I fought a good fight. In other words, look, I fought to the end. I wasn't a quitter. Are you a quitter? Because that's a legacy your kids will remember. I quit my marriage. I quit my work. I quit going to church. I quit reading my Bible. I quit praying. Or will you be known as someone that you fought a good fight? Secondly, Paul's legacy was this: I finished my course. In other words, I went to the end. I didn't come up short. I ran the race and I finished what God had told me to do. Paul's legacy was this: I have kept the faith. In other words, his legacy was that he was continued steadfast in the faith. He was not cold and then hot. He was not out and then coming back in. He had a faithful faith. He kept the faith. That word, when it says he kept the faith, means there are elements out there and forces that are trying to rob us of our faith. And Paul had to fight those things. And so Paul said, look, I fought those things. I kept the faith. And then last of all, he says this: the rewards of a godly legacy is this. Look at this. He says, henceforth, because I had a godly legacy, there's laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, shall give me at that day, and not to me only, but to all them that love his appearing. What you leave, when you leave a good legacy, a godly legacy, you have something special, and you have something special for those behind you, but you also have now something special for you up in heaven. You love his appearing when you have a good godly legacy. And I'm just encouraging you to be one of those men and women that come up and step up today. It's never too late to start building a better legacy than what you've been building. Never too late. It might take saying to the Lord, look, I've not been what I should have been. I should have been more. But I'm changing that today. I've been too much about me and not enough about others. I've not been a good example of a godly father, a godly husband, a godly church member, or a godly person. But you know what? It's never too late to change that. Maybe you say, I've not been a good godly father in the sense of being gentle as a husband and kind as a father. Or maybe as a child, you've got a legacy at school as a troublemaker, or your testimony has been ruined. It's never too late to start building a godly legacy. Listen to me carefully as I finish. Set out to leave a godly legacy. Set out to leave a godly legacy to your children, to your church, and to your community. Because you know what? I really do believe that's why God has me here in Fort Dodge, Iowa, is to leave a godly legacy to this community, to leave a godly legacy to this church, this body of believers, to leave a legacy to my children and my grandchildren. And I hope these lessons will challenge you. And let's go ahead in this new year that we're in and start a good, godly legacy that we can leave.